So once you have your classroom set up and you have your students part of it, now you're going to want to start to put in assignments. So if you look in the lower right here, you have a plus sign, and if you hover over it, there's 4 choices. We're going to go through each one, but we're going to start with create an assignment because that's the one you're going to use most often. So when we click on assignment, a dialog box comes up and we have lots of choices here. So the first thing you see is 4. We're in the practice class right now, so that's why it's going to post in this class. If you have 5 periods of the same subject and you want to post this assignment in each one, if you click on this pull-down menu, all of your classes show up. So if you want this in any other classes, you can just click whichever classes you want it in, okay? Or you can take it off right here. So this is how you can post something to more than one classroom at a time. All students, you have the option to, right now this is going to every student in the class. If you want to differentiate your learning and have different assignments for different students, you can do that. So what you would do is you would make one assignment for a group of students and then another assignment for certain students. So when you click on all students, there aren't any in this class right now. So we're going to go to mine for a second, and I'm going to go back to the stream. And if I am posting an assignment and I click all students, their names come up. Right now it's going to every student. I can take certain students out that I don't want to get this. Okay? And then you can have just a certain group of students see it. So that's a way of having group work, or maybe even somebody's absent or extra work for extra credit, something like that. You can actually assign things to only certain students, and only those students will see it in the stream. So let's go back to now this assignment that we were working on. I'm going to leave it on all students, and I'm going to create a title. So let's say this is chapter 10 questions. This will be the title of my assignment, and I'm going to give some instructions. So maybe I'll tell them to answer first 5 questions for Wednesday, and the last 5 for Friday. So whatever you want them to do, whatever directions, this will keep expanding as much as you need it, so you can put in as many instructions as you'd like. You can choose a due date. You can leave it on no due date, but if you choose a due date, when you click on that, you can actually click on this tab here and it'll bring up a calendar, and you can pick a due date. So I'll pick Friday. You can actually pick a time as well. So if you want something turned in by midnight on that day or by 3 o'clock, this will actually give you a timestamp on the actual assignment that's handed in, so you'll know if students are late or not. I'm going to turn the time off for now, so I'll just X that out because I don't want a time, but I do want to do on April 27th. Now, Google Classroom is a little strange in this one part, because now that you've clicked it, it's kind of there and you're looking for a save. There is no save. What you do is click out, and it did save it. You can see it here. The next thing you can do is you can create topics. So if you have an English classroom and you are reading novels and you're writing essays and you also have vocabulary, you can create topics, because once you put things on this stream, the newest assignment will always go on top. So it can get very cumbersome. You can get a lot of different posts on here. So if you have projects that are long-term, like maybe this is something you're setting up, but then you're going to be putting some other posts, to help students find them, you can assign a topic. So for instance, I'm going to go back to the classroom that I have set up, and I'm going to get out of this assignment for a second. You can see that I have a lot of different assignments. I created some topics here. This was a project we were working on, emerging technology, and Google Doodle was another one. So let's say that this is something that we've been working on over time, and the students need to go back to see this. Instead of constantly scrolling through all of this to try to find it, I can click on emerging tech, and it actually filters out only the projects that are for emerging tech. That's because I put this label on it here, which was here. So I can create a topic. So let's say this is for reading. And you can get as specific as you want. So you can put the name of the novel. You can put whatever you want here. So I'm going to say reading. Okay, And again, when you click out, that's how it stays there. So now I have an assignment set up. It has a title, it has some directions. I did put a due date, and I actually assigned a topic. You don't have to assign a topic, but you can if you want. Now, if you look over here, you have 4 different options. This first paperclip means to attach something to this assignment. Now, it means to attach something that is not a Google document. So if you have a Microsoft Word or anything from Microsoft Office that you want to attach here, you would click on this paperclip. This is bringing me to my drive to find any other documents. You can attach anything you want, but the difference between this and attaching from your drive is when you create something from Google Drive, you can actually make it a worksheet and make a copy for each student so that they can turn work in. So I'll show you the difference. So if I click on my drive symbol, it's going to bring up my drive. And I can look for a document. I could search for it here if I want. So I'm going to look for something that I gave the students called Exploration Guide. So I'm going to click on this because I want to add this to my assignment. So once I add it, it puts it here. And now you have another set of options. So for all the Google documents that you add, you have 3 things. A student can view it, means all they can do is really look at it. If you pull down on this menu here, you can have them edit the file, which means they can change it. So it depends what you want, what you're giving them. Because in this case, I'm giving this and I want every student to have their own copy. So I don't want them all editing it because all 25 or 30 students will be making changes on the same document. So there may be times where you want to do that though. If there's group work and you're giving them a sheet or a log to fill out and you want the 5 students maybe that you're sending it to all be able to edit it, then you would do that. But the one we want to use here is make a copy for each student. So this is essentially making a worksheet. And instead of making copies on a copier, you're making the copies here. So when the students receive this, they're all going to have their own copy. So they just click on it, open it up, and can start typing it. And then they turn it in, which we'll get to in a later video. So if I'm set here, I'm going to leave that and I'm going to go to the next thing. Now, the next one is for YouTube videos. So if I click on that, this dialog box, I can actually search here. Or if you already know the URL, if you've copied it, you can just paste it here. I don't have one ready, so I'm just going to type in a topic, dogs, and I'm going to search. And you can actually preview videos here if you like, or if you know the one you want. So I'm just going to keep it on this first one here. So if you click on another one, that blue box changes. So I will click on this first one, and I'm going to add it. And now there's a link to this video for the students. The last thing you can add is a link. So if you have a website you want them to go to for notes or something like that, you can use that. So I'm going to use Quizlet.com and I'll add it. Now you have the links that you want students to go to right here. So this is a great way of compiling all the different things that you want the students to go to, because all they're going to need to do is click on it and it'll bring them right there. They don't have to type in any URLs. They don't have to search. They don't have to find anything. You're giving them exactly where you want them to go. You notice after each item you add here, there's an X. So if you change your mind, you can take it out. So now we're ready to assign this. And if I hit assign right now, it's going to put it on my wall immediately, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But there are some options. So there's a drop-down menu here. And if we click on that, you have the option to assign right now. You can schedule this. So scheduling is very helpful because before, when I was talking about once you put something on this wall, it's there for students to see. So sometimes you'll have a student that's an overachiever and, as soon as they see an assignment pop up here, they want to do it. But if you're like me and you like to be very organized, let's say on Monday, you are getting all your posts and all your assignments set up for the week so that you don't have to go each day and put that on there. Well, if you have an assignment that you want to put up for Wednesday and you did not teach that lesson yet, but you want to have everything on here so that you don't have to remember to rush and do that on Wednesday morning, you can schedule it. So you can say when you want this to actually appear. So I can create this entire assignment, but if I don't want it to go up to a certain date, I can pick the date here and actually the time it even arrives on the wall. I'm going to click for a second to get out of that and go to my last option, which is save as a draft. So if you save this as a draft, it will save it. It's not going to put it on the wall. I'm going to click on that to show you where you go to get that back. So now on your wall, students wouldn't see this. You see this saved post here? Okay, you can click on this now to go back to editing it. Here it is. I want this one. I'm going to open it up. And if I'm ready to assign this now, I will just click assign. Yes, I do want to assign it immediately. And it's going to put it right on the wall. Okay, so now this is my first assignment. Here's my class. This is the first assignment. This is the topic. Okay, you have different options here. This is the exploration guide that you want the students to work on. Maybe this is a video you're having them watch. And when you click on these, okay, they'll bring you right to, so I'll click on this video and now the students can watch the video. Okay, so to go back, we'll go here. So this is a great way of compiling resources. Now there's some other options I'm going to show you in future videos. So I will show you in the next video some of these other options that you can add to your wall.